it might be fun if we review movies for you. We love movies, all kinds. We're going to give you the skinny if you haven't seen the movie. If you have, we're going to dissect it, almost like a book club for movie lovers.
Not only do we love movies, but we also love tea and crumpets. Now this is my friend Michaela James. She is the voice of Bob 93.7, and she is also a local personality who has voiced many commercials and IGT slot machines, and she has also narrated several audiobooks, which you can find on audible.com.
And Megan is a UNR graduate with a Bachelor of Fine Arts in Theatre. So she loves everything, movies, theatre, she's got a lot of experience. She even did a summer in England in the Imperial College of London doing theatre. So between us, we think that maybe we might have an interesting view on movies and that it might help you.
And combined with our long history together, plus our unique interests in different movies, from children's flicks to things more of an adult nature, we think that you'll enjoy what we have to say about the movies we're going to do for you.
We hope you'll enjoy. The movie that Megan and I saw last night was Godzilla. So if you haven't seen the movie, here's the skinny on Godzilla. If you're not familiar with Godzilla, he's a great, huge monster, big, fat, kind of scary, but not horribly scary. There are two other monsters in this that I found more scary because they were sort of spider-like, weren't they? Whereas Godzilla was, you know, like myself, carrying a few extra pounds. It didn't make him as scary. But typical, it actually, I thought, Megan, would you agree it kept it in the vein of the traditional Godzilla movies?
Oh, absolutely. It looked a lot more like the original monster from the 50s than, say, the monster from the 1998 movie, which was a little bit off.
Yep, I agree.
I think that the look of this monster is not as scary for children, especially.
Right, right. So yeah, a real Godzilla movie, destroying cities everywhere he goes, but he's the good guy. So the skinny really is, it is a true PG-13. I think that's really what I want to let you know. If you're thinking, can I take my children to it? Absolutely you can, maybe not the very young ones, because typical monster movie, you know, there's fighting, but it's not real life, gruesome, keep your kids awake at night.
And especially my biggest problem with violence is always interpersonal violence, which this is, you know, kids play with monster toys all the time. It's basically a bigger version of that, I would say.
Absolutely. There is no sex,
nope.
Zero, and there is no bad language.
None.
So you can go in with an easy mind on that one. And as we say, the violence is not horrible. It's just a typical Godzilla monster type violence. What would you say? Is it just the right length? Too short? Too long? Your thought on that?
I thought it was a pretty good length.
Okay.
It's about 2 hours long, maybe a little long for some kids, but I thought it was entertaining enough to keep you engaged throughout the entire movie.
There was certainly a lot of action. I felt it was a little too long. I felt it could have been a little bit shorter, but like you say, it did keep your interest. So now as far as children and adults alike, Megan, would you say that the adults are going to enjoy it as much as the children?
I think it depends on the adult. If you're interested in Godzilla or you like action movies, I think this has enough elements in it that especially the story will keep the adults engaged, and all the action will definitely keep the kids engaged.
Absolutely. For me, I feel as if your kids will enjoy it more than you will, but you know, that's my personal opinion. So what about Crumpets? How many are we going to give it?
I'm going to give it 3 Crumpets out of 5.
Okay. I'm going to give it 3 for the adults and 4 for the children. Now we're going to get to our section where we dissect the movies, what we like to call it, really get into the nitty-gritty a bit more. But if you don't want a spoiler, we won't really spoil anything, but if you just wanted to know should I go or not, then stop now. If you want to hear us discuss it more, please stay with us. So let's start with the acting, Megan. What did you think about the acting?
In general, I didn't think the acting was too bad. I thought Bryan Cranston, who played Joe Ford in this movie, was brilliant, as always. He's one of my favorite actors, so little bit of bias there. But I thought his character was very well fleshed out for the amount of time he was in the movie, which was less than half. And then the two other lead characters, played by Aaron Taylor-Johnson and Elizabeth Olsen, I thought that they did okay. I liked Aaron Taylor-Johnson the most when he was in a scene with a younger kid. I thought his best chemistry was with his scene son and with another young boy who he meets in the film. I thought his acting is the most natural in those.
He doesn't have one of those faces that really shows emotion, does he?
He's kind of got a one expression face.
Yeah. And now with Bryan Cranston, I don't know. I almost felt that he was phoning in for this one. Just, maybe he's tired of cooking meth and he thought this would pay the bills better. I don't know, but I didn't feel that he was that great, Megan.
The only...
And the hair.
Well, the hair was kind of...
The hair was awful.
He was wearing a very noticeable wig.
Yeah, it was odd.
It just...
Yeah, I wasn't really feeling it from him. I just... The scene with the wife, I didn't make me cry, and I cry at the drop of a hat. So I don't know, the acting to me was not great. But I didn't expect it to be. It was Godzilla.
It's a Godzilla.
We don't go for the acting when we go to see a Godzilla movie. So it wasn't terrible, but I don't think it was great.
But of all of them, do you agree that he was possibly still the best?
Yes, but that's not saying much.
Ken Watanabe, who played another Japanese scientist in the movie, actually, he played the same role as the original scientist in the 1954 movie. He
was good, but, doesn't it kind of make you laugh? There's a lot of...
Mm-hmm.
How many times did we say that?
That facial...
Yes.
When the monsters appear, or when he learns a new piece of information, it's...
So let's talk about little things that irritated us. Let's go back to the hair. Now, so here's the hair.
Oh my God.
15 years on, not a grey hair?
That's
great genes
not
or
even
bad continuity.
I'm
like, he looked exactly the same.
Maybe
15
take the
years
wig off
later.
15 years later and just have your regular hair.
Yes.
But no, they
so those little things that you and I noticed. The phone. That you're desperate to hear from your husband.
Right.
You don't know if he's alive or dead. If I'm desperate to hear whether I've got my hair appointment, I don't put my phone down.
Right.
I carry it everywhere with me. She misses a call. Keep your phone with you. You're desperate to know if your husband's alive.
Those little bit of forced dramatic tension there that doesn't necessarily need to happen.
Yes.
Because even if he did call her, if she did get the phone call, it's not like it's gonna teleport him back home. He's still stuck where he is.
Yes. I think the tea's brewed, darling. So what else, Megan? You had said you thought it was the right length. I thought it was a tad long. Mm-hmm. We agree the acting, nobody's going to be winning any awards here, but it is a Godzilla movie, and I think the main reason we go to these movies is for our children. Mm-hmm. Unless you're a child at heart, and there's nothing wrong with that either.
Or a nerd like me who goes to these movies no matter who's in them.
That's right, you never pass up a movie.
No.
Which is very good for our show. As far as the drama keeping you interested, I thought it did a good job. It certainly did, and I liked that it did build. With the nuclear, with the...
That's really true.
There was a real story there.
I thought that part of the storyline was far better developed than my first experience with Godzilla, which was the 1998 Roland Emmerich film, which I admit I enjoyed when I was 8 years old, but seeing it again and having seen the original Godzilla movies, it didn't stick at all to the original story, which is what I liked about this one. It very much stuck to the main fact that Godzilla is radioactive. They didn't even put that in the storyline in the 1998.
No, they didn't.
And I thought that was really cool.
Yes, no, there was a very good build. Mm. Now, talking of building, as your sister pointed out last night, there was more of a chase than a fight, wasn't there?
Yeah, that's true.
A long chase with these three coming together, the two spider ones, and then the Godzilla. And then when they finally did, not that much fighting, which maybe your 12-year-old boy is hoping for.
So, most of the fighting happened really at the end of the film. And in one part of the film, which I kind of liked, I can get into this later, but one little part of the film that I liked, where they do show a massive fight, is really just the main character's son watching it on TV as the news is unfolding, and they're showing them fighting, and that's really like the first instance of a major battle between them that you get is from this kid watching it on TV.
Yes.
Which is kind of, it's a funny moment, but yeah, the real fighting between the monsters comes towards the end.
Funny bits, apart from the faces and the hair. I liked the Chinese lanterns in San Francisco.
Oh yeah, when he was going to Chinatown.
Huge buildings are just crumbling to the ground.
Lanterns that are hanging in between the alley are just
Chinese lanterns. Nothing can move them. That I like that. That was funny.
I also thought when the Godzilla doesn't make it to Las Vegas, but the Mutos, which is what they call the other monsters in the movie, are coming through Nevada trying to make their way to Yucca Mountain. And how lovely is that? And they are crashing through Las Vegas, and some firefighters break into a penthouse suite in a Vegas hotel, and some Elvis, Devil in Disguise, is playing, and as they break into this room, all they see is this huge destruction out of a torn out wall of the side of the casino hotel, and that just appealed to my kind of ironic sense of humor.
I know, classic. So overall, we agree, a fun action movie. Don't be surprised that the acting is not great. I'm sure you're not expecting it, so you won't be disappointed. You will be entertained. I think your children will enjoy it. We saw it at our local IMAX, but we didn't do the 3D.
That's true.
Not because we're cheap, just because it was the times didn't work out for us, but
I'm
not opposed to it.
I personally don't like 3D movies.
I don't mind them if it fits the movie. I like it.
That's the thing. I like 3D when the movie has been filmed on purpose to be in 3D. Most movies aren't done that way.
Right.
They're filmed, and then in post-production they do digital remastering, and they make it available in 3D to give them an opportunity to make more money, basically. And I don't like those kind of movies because it doesn't really serve the story to me. Some movies do.
Graduate theater types.
Yeah. So I didn't totally want to see this movie in 3D. And that's the 3 versions it was available at the IMAX theater were IMAX 3D, regular 3D, and standard, which is how we saw it.
Yes. So, as you saw, we gave it, basically, I gave it 4 crumpets for the kids and 3 for the adults. You gave it a 3 overall. And so we would say yes, take your children, enjoy, just don't have very high expectations and you won't be disappointed.